Hello everyone, I'm Gabor, CPO at Weave, and today I would like to give you a little overview about the Weave Manager and the Weave platform, and also give you a step-by-step guide how to set everything up and find your way around. So let's get right into it. So of course the first thing you would need to do is to put in your credentials and to log in. And the first thing you would see is the welcome page. The welcome page will provide you all the most important links which will help you to get started. So you will find a link to the tutorial to just see right now. You will find a little link to the technical documentation, which has way more content about the technical background of this, the step-by-step guides for things you want to do, etc., etc. You will also find the link to the Weave Discord community, where you find other Weavers. You would find us, where you can basically discuss projects. You can ask questions if you got stuck anywhere, and yeah, you find your space there. And you also find a link to the Create Your First Workspace, which is the first step you would need to do in order to set everything up. Where you just arrived is your organization, because Weave is built up in a way that we have the level of an organization, which contains all the Edge applications, and we have the level of Workspaces, which is basically grouping nodes and deployments, so that you can always decide if you want to group certain nodes into projects, into locations, into certain groups of people who should have access to it, and also who can then deploy your Edge applications to which nodes can be controlled in that manner. So, but before we create our first workspace, I would like to explain you a little bit how this is structured and built up. So on the very top, you find our top navigation bar, which will always bring you back to the main areas of the platform. And right below that, you have the toolbar, which changes in context of whatever content comes below that. So, for example, the dashboard will always bring you back to the highest hierarchy you have access to on the platform. So you can go back to the space where you started. The Edge applications contains all the Edge applications you ever created, the option to create a new Edge application, deploy them, delete them, edit them, everything from that space. The module library brings you to the space where you can browse and check all the modules that are available on this platform, out of which you can create your Edge applications. So you find the input, the processing, and the output modules. And all of these modules contain a little description and have a link to their registry, so you can also do a deeper dive into the technicalities of these modules. And in the last step, you will find the nodes. This is basically listing all the nodes you have registered to the platform and are available to deploy Edge applications to. But we will come to that at a later point in time. On the very right, you will find your avatar and the help center, which you can always click on if you got stuck anywhere, because you will find a link to the documentation there, to the YouTube channel again, to the Weave Discord community. But you can also report bugs and ask for features in this tab, because you will, if you click on feature requests, you will redirect it to a form where you can give us direct feedback on what you would like to have improved on the platform. Of course, if you click on About Weave, you can also get in touch with us directly. And this is the help center, which will always provide you with quick links to the most important resources. Then you can, of course, also log out on the very right, and that's pretty much it. This is how the whole platform is structured. So let's start right away with creating our first workspace. We just click right here, and we call it My First Workspace. Right below, you can add a more detailed description, like My First Workspace for the video. Of course, you get some typos for the video recording. And below that, you can select an icon. For example, you select the game controller here, and then we added our first workspace. So as I said, this workspace basically holds all the nodes you want to register to this workspace. For example, your smart gateways, your Raspberry Pis, your industrial computers, or whatever you want to have as a node, as an edge computing unit basically, you can group it into workspaces. So if you have multiple workspaces, you would find all of them here. But right now we have only this workspace. If you enter this workspace, then you will always find all the nodes which are registered to this workspace. Right now we have none, so there is no node registered here, and all the deployed Edge applications and their status. Since you don't have any Edge application created yet and don't create a deployment yet, you also, of course, don't see any deployment and their status, but we will come to that. So this is your basic workspace. So there are basically two more steps you would need to do in order to basically be done. First would be to register a node to the platform. And the second thing you would need to do is to create an Edge application and deploy it. But in the next video, I will show you how to register a node. And in the third video, I will walk you step by step through the process of creating an Edge application. But I will already give you a high-level idea of what it is about. So if you click on Edge applications, you also see we didn't create any Edge application yet. So we can create Edge application. And what you see here is our Edge application builder. On the very left, you see the drawer of all the modules you can use in this application building process, coming from input, processing to output. And in the center piece, you see the canvas, which is basically meant for you to be creative about what you want to achieve. So let's start with MQTT ingress. And this is basically defining how the data comes into this application. In the second step, we might want to filter our data which is coming in. So for example, we can drag in the comparison filter. And in the last step, we might want to send the data to a database, to an alerting system, or send it out via HTTP or MQTT again. In this example, we can say we want to, for example, store it in the AWS DynamoDB database. The only thing you would need to do now is to connect these three modules with each other, and with that simple steps, you already created a data pipeline, basically, which we call an Edge application. What you can do now is to go module by module by module and configure each of their parameters. Here, for example, the MQTT ingress module, you will need to set the broker, you will need to set the topic it subscribes to, and when you change the settings, you can just set apply, and it applies to that module in this application. But again, there will be another video with a way more detailed example of what you can do. Another cool thing is if you want to add the data into a different database as well, let's say SAP HANA, the only thing you need to do is to drag it in and connect another database, and in this way you will then send the data to both databases. Or you can just interchange everything. So if you have a very complex data structure basically built, or an Edge application built, and you wish just to change the endpoint or the input point, there's no problem by just deleting the module, adding another module, and then sending the data, for example, to Slack. So next thing you would need to do is to name your application, My First App. Give it a version name, in this case you can call it 1, and then save it. The next step you would do, which we cannot right now because we haven't registered a node yet to the platform, is select a node to deploy this Edge application on. This we will also do in a later point in time, but actually what happen is you select a node which is an onboarded Edge computing hardware which is registered to the platform, and then if you hit deploy, the Edge application goes out to that node, will be executed there, and the application runs decentralized on all the nodes you deployed it to. I hope this gave you a little overview about what the Weave Manager is about. Please follow the other videos if you want to see how to register a node and how to deploy an Edge application with a real-world example. If you haven't signed up to our beta yet, you will find the link below to our beta, a sign up where you can then sign up to our waitlist, and we will provide you access to the platform. I hope to see you around, and see you soon.